We notice that sometimes the wealthiest of people, I mean, obviously it would make sense that they have more debt, but actually they have lack of understanding on how to run their daily budget. And so their house payment may be so out of whack based on what they make, or their amount of debt on credit cards are just out of control. And I think it's just because when we think we have a good job and we're making money, we can spend on whatever we want. And that really gets out of hand. And I think there are a lot of products out there that can help people rein that in, but mostly a conversation and just trust.
Welcome back to The Rock Pod, produced for the Royal Oak, Michigan Chamber of Commerce. I'm John Gay from Jagged Detroit Podcasts.
And I'm Lisa Bibby, realtor with Century 21 Northland.
You are not the first bankers we have had on the show, Angela King and Jolene Plotzke of Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union, but we really want to highlight today your dedication to financial literacy. But before that, some fun stuff. Lisa and I are both dog lovers. Angela, you have a dog named Samantha, golden retriever. What's your favorite thing to do with her?
Usually just take her to the park behind my house and let her just run free.
What park?
It's called Optimist Park. It just got renovated. It's just inside of Roseville over by St. Clair Shores.
Love it. Love it.
Nice. And Jolene, you were a public school music teacher for 26 years in Rochester Community Schools, and you recently retired in 2024. So congrats.
Thank you.
You also have 2 adult children who both followed in your footsteps to become music teachers. I have to ask, do you guys have a family band?
I wish we did. That's such a great idea. My son plays saxophone. My daughter plays guitar. I had majored in voice, and my husband sounds like Eddie Vedder when he sings. So I think we should have him join a band with us.
Yes, I love it. We'll think of a cool name.
Lisa always has these $1 million ideas. It's wild. This is why I love working with you, Lisa. All right, let's talk money. Cheddar, Benjamins. What brought both of you to Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union?
Personally, what brought me to the credit union in general was just the relationship-oriented style of banking. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union is really just about how can we help our members? It's not about sales. It's not about pushing anything at people. It is really just about being a community organization and also promoting financial literacy in general. So we host a lot of free workshops and other things too that can really actually help people rather than hurt people. We're not a fee-based organization. And actually, if you look at like the credit unions in the general area in the state of Michigan overall, it goes over how many are fee-based and how many are not fee-based. And we are actually negative on fee income.
Oh, wow. And Jolene, what about you? You retired, you're done, but you're still working. How did you end up following your passion here?
How did you notice? Well, I was always introduced to the credit union style of banking throughout my childhood. So my parents did credit unions when I grew up, and they said, if you ever want to get a loan, if you ever want to get a new car, if you ever want to get a mortgage, you always go to a credit union, right? So I had learned that early on. But when I was leaving teaching and I wanted to know who thought teachers had transferable skills, I mean, that should be everybody. We manage the hardest people to manage, right? We are good at budgeting. We're good at, ordering supplies. We're good everything you can imagine, and curriculum. So when I realized MSGCU was looking for a financial educator, I thought, oh, who better than me? And I had retired at 48 because I had made some smart moves and listened to some sage advice from people before me. So I felt like going into the community and talking to high schoolers was a easy thing for me. But I noticed my sweet spot's mostly talking to community members about basic financial success and what they could do in terms of putting their money in savings instead of checking, opening up a CD for a short-term money gain, how they can actually invest long-term in financial investments. So I feel like these are things that our community really needs, but no one really wants to talk about. And I think I'm an easygoing person. I have a way of saying hello to someone and making them a little bit more comfortable, kind of the teacher vibe. People open up and they will tell you about their debt. They'll tell you about issues that they're having getting ahead. And I always know that our credit union can help. So I never feel like I'm trying to sell something. I feel like you should go talk to Angela. I know that she can work out this budgeting sheet with you and we can wrangle in your debt and get you back on track. And I truly believe that.
You guys had mentioned a couple times here about financial literacy, and I think this is so important because a lot of people do not have the information that they need to be successful, correct?
Agreed.
Extremely. It's hard to see people who don't have the financial literacy and give my, 20, 30 minutes to actually try and teach them. We offer comprehensive actual financial counseling sessions. And that's something that I'm very passionate about. And I really take a lead here in the credit union overall. And I also help mentor new financial counselors that are coming in too. So
we noticed that sometimes the wealthiest of people have, I mean, obviously it would make sense that they have more debt, but actually they have lack of understanding on how to run their daily budget. And so their house payment may be so out of whack based on what they make, or their amount of debt on credit cards are just out of control. And I think it's just because when we think we have a good job and we're making money, we can spend on whatever we want. And that really gets out of hand. And I think there are a lot of products out there that can help people rein that in, but mostly a conversation and just trust. And you get that when you go to MSGCU.
I know the education is so important, and I can hear the passion in both of your voices. What are each of your roles within the organization?
So I'm a branch manager, work at the Woodward and Normandy location. I've been with the credit union for about 4.5 years, and I manage a team of a total of 6 people.
And you recently hosted a chamber coffee there, which was wonderful. So thank you for having us. And it happens to be next to my Starbucks of choice. So it'd be very dangerous and expensive for me if I were working there, because I'd be right next door at that Starbucks at Normandy. So I would probably need a little bit of counseling myself on not spending so much money on coffee every day.
Well, you can come for a free cup of coffee at MSGCU.
Hells, look at that. Look at that. The counseling is free, though. So is the coffee. That's fantastic.
Right.
That could be your new slogan. Your website is packed full of resources, and you also offer classroom and workplace education. How do people sign up to bring you in?
Well, a lot of times, Angela and I are giving out our card and trying to talk to key influencers of schools, businesses, city offices, the police department, and fire. And we are actually telling each of those demographics what we offer that could fit just their people. For instance, when we go to the police department, we talk about financial success strategies that are specifically based on their contract as a police officer. We have a really personalized way of word of mouth and with our business card of talking to them, telling them what we have to offer. And the way they sign up is we have an online portal where people can take 5-minute vignette classes on what it's like to be a home buyer, how to get that process started, steps about debt control, and tons of different other topics. So it's really nice that we have that portal. But when it comes to actually scheduling something with someone on the portal, there is a place where they could suggest, hey, I'm interested in some financial ed for my department or where I work. And we actually get that sent right to us through email. So I contact the person if they're in my area and I talk to them about what their needs are. It's very personalized, though. You might notice we don't see advertisements. We're a word of mouth and a person-to-person business.
And I love how involved in the community you are. So thank you.
Oh, we love it. We love that. That's our favorite part. My job is community relations. So I will go to the community, tell them what we have to offer in terms of financial ed, which is really the most important role that I have. And then the secondary role is sponsorship of some things that are helping the community as a whole. So if there's something the police department's doing or fire department or the leprechauns, if they're hosting an event that will better our community, then MSGCU is all in.
And that's what I love about the chamber is we have so many different organizations, whether you mentioned the leprechauns, the banks, and so many folks, we meet them at all these coffees and all these events that really do care about the Royal Oak community. You're certainly no exception. And I love the fact that financial literacy is such a passion for both of you because it is so, so important. We're going to switch gears now and do our fishbowl question of the day, where we ask you both a totally random question. Lisa, if you wouldn't mind pulling today's fishbowl question of the day.
All right. So let me ask each of you guys this question. What is the one challenge that each of you never gave up on? Angela, you're first.
I think the one challenge I've never given up on is just finding a way to connect with people and actually talk about their finances and really understand them. Being a certified financial counselor for me doesn't stop at my job. It also boils over into my life, my family. It boils over into my friends too. And I am very interested in having the hard conversation to actually show people that I care.
I love that. And I think in the course of 100 some episodes of this podcast, we have talked about mental health and finances as two topics that historically have been very taboo. And it's really exciting to see the conversation opening up around both of those. Jolene, what about you?
Well, 97% of every person around us is concerned about finances right now.
Yeah.
And so I take that to heart in my own family. So I have 2 children. And I would say the thing that I don't give up on is, since yesterday was Mother's Day, is momming. I mean, the whole idea of creating 2 independent individuals who are going to one day be able to finance their own lives and achieve their own dreams. And they are growing up in a time where they think home ownership may be out of reach, or their generation isn't going to have what our generation had. And I'm just here to bust that myth for them and to continue mentoring them and momming them so they can feel like independent financial warriors in their own home.
Well, it sounds like you've got the financial assistance part down with your credit union. But if you are interested in a realtor that can help first-time home buyers, I love helping people buy their first home. It is such a great experience.
We want to thank you both so much for coming on this episode of The Rock Pod. How do folks get in touch with you at the bank?
You can come see me in person here at the credit union right at Woodward and Normandy. I also have aking@msgcu.org for an email and a phone number of 586-263-8800, extension 996 gets you directly to me.
Thank you, Angela and Jolene, so much for being on our podcast and especially for being so involved in our community and helping people get financially literate. My name is Lisa Bibby. I'm a realtor with Century 21 Northland. I put the real back in realtor. And we want you to love where you live. Questions about buying or selling your home? Call my cell 248-981-3610. My website is soldbylisab.com, and you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram at soldbylysab. Let's connect.
And I'm John Gay with Jag in Detroit Podcasts. I take the pain out of podcasting. If you've ever wanted to start a podcast, been intimidated by the process, shoot me an email, jag, @jagindetroit.com, or you can find me on social at jagindetroit. Both Lisa's and my contact info are in the show notes, as well as that for MSGCU. I want to thank you for listening to episode 98 of The Rock Pod. It is produced for the Royal Oak, Michigan Chamber of Commerce. For more information on the chamber or our events, you can visit royaloakchamber.com and look out for something special coming up in episode 100. Thanks, everyone.